Coming up, the former #1 hit by the soul performer who began his musical career as a singing car hop. But he got fired from that job because he was too good.
The hits from coast to coast. American Top 40.
Here now is another debut song by an artist who first hit the top 40 way back in 1968 with a novelty hit titled The Snake. Remember that one? His latest hit, Show and Tell, moves into the 40 at number 37 this week. Let's welcome back to the chart Mr. Al Wilson and a Jerry Fuller composition titled Show and Tell.
American Top 40.
And it's a former #1 song by the soul performer who began his musical career at the age of 13 as a singing car hop. But he got fired from that job because he was too good. He told us that in those days, working at a drive-in restaurant in Meridian, Mississippi, his job went something like this. He'd greet the customers, take their orders, bring the food, and throw in a song. Well, he sure made the customers happy, and he got some mighty big tips. But the other car hops didn't like it. In fact, they all threatened to quit unless something was done about the guy who was getting all the customers. Well, to keep the others happy, the management reluctantly fired him because he was too good. Well, working as a singing car hop isn't the usual way to prepare for a singing career, but it is one way. The way Al Wilson did it several years ago. Here's Al with a little music a la carte.
American Top 40.
Well, it's time now for the latest hit by a soul singer from Meridian, Mississippi, who got his big break as a result of a very cruel hoax. It happened about 8 years ago while the artist was working as a shipping clerk during the week and picking up a few extra bucks on weekends as a singer. He tells us he was introduced to a man who said he was a talent scout for Motown Records. And the man flipped over the singer's voice, invited him to come to Detroit that weekend to sign a contract. Well, at first, the excited young singer thought all of his dreams had really come true. But when he tried to contact the man, he was told the guy had checked out of his motel and didn't leave a forwarding address. So the artist called Motown, and they told him they'd never heard of this so-called talent scout. But they sympathized with the disappointed young man, and they told him to contact their West Coast office and explain what had happened. He did, and even though he didn't get a contract with Motown, 2 of their writers heard him sing and they liked him. And they arranged for him to meet Johnny Rivers, who'd started his own label at the time. Johnny signed him up. A few months later, Al Wilson had his first top 40 hit. He's had several since then. His latest debuts this week on AT40 at number 37. It's called I've Got a Feeling.
Casey's Coast to Coast.